everyone, it's Stephanie here and welcome back to Camp Create 2017. We are at the last day of camp and you know we had to incorporate glitter somewhere. So today is the day. For the last day of camp we're going to be playing with some Elizabeth Crafts glitters and using different die cuts from MFT and just doing some different glitter effects on those die cuts. So I've already went ahead and picked out some of the colors that I want to use, and I'm just going to trim down some cardstock pieces. And for the very first one we're going to do, which is some butterflies, we're going to use the Flutter of Butterflies Lace Dynamics. I am actually going to use a piece of heavy text paper for that one, just because it's a little bit more intricate and it's a little bit harder to die cut through the layers of the tape and the cardstock. So to do this, we're going to use Be Creative or score tape, which is what I have here. I have a bunch of different sizes, and it just depends on what size you have, whether you can just use one single strip or you'll have to layer it together on your panel. So you'll see here I'll do it both ways just to show the difference. So we're going to start off with the butterflies, and these are going to fit perfectly in that really wide tape that I had to the right hand side there when I showed all the different rolls that I have. So I'm able to easily just add this to the paper and I'll be able to cut a butterfly out of each section. So I want to use 3 butterflies on this design, so I'm going to add 3 pieces of the tape directly onto this paper. And like I mentioned before, this is a heavy text-based paper, so it's a little bit lighter than cardstock. It's not as thick, and this is just going to allow me to easily be able to die cut these butterflies. So I'm just adding the 3 pieces. I like to take my bone folder and just kind of rub that over that tape just to make sure it's really pressed down into the paper. And then I'm going to take my butterfly images and go ahead and run this through my die cut machine. So I decided to use one butterfly twice and then a third butterfly, which is a separate one, and I'm going to have all of these. My original plan was to put these all into one card, but I'll end up putting them onto 2 different cards. So you'll see that at the end when I show you the completed cards. Now when I ran this through, because it is text paper, this was kind of a happy medium. I was able to easily die cut through it, but it almost die cut too much through it. So the butterflies kind of popped out of the backing, and you want to leave them in there to apply the glitter. So I just used a little bit of post-it tape to add to the back of that just to hold those butterflies in place. And then I popped out the insides before I add any of the glitter. I also trimmed each butterfly into its own section to make it easier to do my glittering. So what I'm going to do for the butterflies is do multicolors on the butterflies. So I'm using a little spoon and I'm just using that to add the glitter to the center area of the butterfly. And this is just helping me control how much glitter I'm putting down. So for the butterflies, I'm using the ruby glitter in the middle. That's the really dark pink color. Then I'm following that up with the vintage pink, which is this really nice light pink color. And then I'm going to finish that one up with the pewter, which is a silver glitter. And I'm just doing the same thing as I do each layer. I'm putting a tiny bit on my spoon and I'm just kind of tapping it on. Now when you do this part here, you just kind of want to press down on top of all the glitter sections before you start to burnish it with your finger. So before you start to twirl your finger around over top of it to really press that glitter in, I like to kind of just press down with my finger to kind of make sure that the glitter that I have on each area of the butterfly is what's going to adhere down onto that section. And then once I have it done with my finger, I just take my bone folder and further burnish it, wipe everything off with a Swiffer cloth. It cleans up glitter really easily. And now you can see I have this multicolored butterfly that has this really dark center and kind of works its way out to the silver color on the edges. Now for this next butterfly, this is the same butterfly that I just did, so I'm going to repeat the exact same colors. I'm going with the darkest pink first, then that lighter pink, and then the silver on the outside. And then once again, I'm going to press down onto that glitter before I start to kind of move my finger around. And then I end up with these really beautiful glittery butterflies that are multicolored. And this glitter is going to stay put. Once you burnish it in and kind of remove the excess with your Swiffer cloth, that glitter isn't going anywhere. It's going to stay on there and you don't have to worry about it kind of transferring all over. So for the last butterfly, I decided to change up the shape, so I'm using a different butterfly from the same die set. And I also changed up the colors for this one. I wanted to try a few different colors of glitter, so I'm going to use some aquas on this one. I used turquoise in the center and followed that up with sky, which is a lighter color, and then I finished it off with the pewter that I had used on the pink ones. And now you can see here I have this really beautiful aqua butterfly that has the same kind of an ombre look is what I was going for. So now I have 3 different butterflies. They are beautiful. I wish you could see how beautiful and sparkly they are in real life. They are just stunning, and I love the variation in the color. So this was a really fun way to use my glitters and kind of just get a bit of a different look, and every time you do this it's going to be unique. You're never going to have the exact same look every time, so it's just a really fun way to kind of use up those glitters and do something different. So now we're going to move on to a new shape. We're going to do some die cutting with these flamingos here. And you can see that I'm layering this tape together. And that's just because I'm using a thinner tape and it's not going to be large enough to cover the flamingos. So if I layer it together side by side, I can easily die cut that flamingo through multiple strips of the tape and get the same effect. You just want to make sure that you don't have any gaps in between the adhesive when you're applying it to your paper. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a gap in your finished glitter design. So I'm repeating the exact same process. This time I'm just kind of dumping the glitter on there because I'm keeping the flamingos the exact same color on their bodies. I'm going to change it up and add a really vibrant pink color for their wings since those are a separate part of the flamingo. So for these I'm using the fuchsia glitter and I use the vintage pink for the bodies of the flamingos. And this is just a fun way to use multi-layered dies that have more than one piece, is to kind of mix up the glitter colors that you're using and layer them on top of one another. So now you can see I have two beautiful sparkly flamingos ready to go on a card. Now for the last technique, I just wanted to share another fun way to use glitter on die cuts that are already die cut from your cardstock. So I used the Wine Service Dynamics die set and I cut out the wine glasses in the wine bottle, and I want to add glitter to these to make it look like there's red wine in both the wine bottle and the wine glasses. So to do that, I just added the double-sided tape directly to those pieces. I'm peeling off the backing piece, and then I'm going to add the red glitter directly on top. So this is true red glitter. I'm dumping a bunch onto all these pieces. I can just funnel the extra glitter back into the jar since I'm not mixing colors. And then I'm just going to use the same process as before and press the glitter down into that adhesive with my finger, and then follow that up with my bone folder just to make sure that it's really burnished down in and that glitter is not going to come off. And then once I have that done, I can just kind of clean up that glitter mess, and it's going to leave me with my wine bottle and my wine glasses with the look of red sparkly wine in them. So now you can see all the pieces that we've created with different glitter techniques. We have the multicolored butterflies by using multiple glitters. We have the layered effect by having the flamingos with the two different colors because they're layering dies. And then we also have the wine, which we've kind of added the glitter in specific spots versus just kind of adding it to an entire die cut. So I went ahead and put all these glitter pieces onto finished cards, so I just wanted to kind of show you what I did to finish them off. So all of the cards have stenciling in the background panel, which for this one I used the English brick wall with Grow Gray ink, and I stamped the Let's Chill sentiment directly on the wine bottle tag from the You're the Sweetest stamp set. It just lucked out and it happened to fit perfectly, and I think it pairs really nicely with that design. For these ones here, these are the butterflies. I ended up splitting them up and using them on separate cards. So for the turquoise butterfly here, I layered it on a background that I had created with the herringbone brick stencil and some banana split ink. And then I stamped the sentiment with black ink from the Boss Babe stamp set. For the second one, I used the same stamp set, the Boss Babe stamp set, and I layered these ones onto a background that I had created with the abstract stencil and snow cone ink. I like the really light blue color kind of in behind those butterflies. And lastly today we have our sparkly hot pink flamingos. So for these ones I used the geometric grid stencil on a background with Summer Splash ink. I added those flamingos on top of that with some grass that I die cut from the Mailbox Dynamics, and then I added a sentiment that I had stamped from the More Essential Sentiment stamp set with black ink. So now we have 4 different card designs that we've created with all of the different glittery embellishments that we made using the glitter and the various die cuts. So now it's your turn to take part. If you would like to earn today's badge, just create a project or a card featuring glitter in some way and link it up in today's blog post, which is in the description box of this video down below. And I would just like to say thank you so much for joining us for Camp Create 2017. We have had so much fun this week doing all of the different activities and having everyone get involved and share all of their projects. And we might just see you later this summer for a little bit more of camp fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.